holistic marketing concept, right? Followed by, we have also talked about the market environment analysis, why it makes sense. Also, then we have talked about the market research as well as the STP. And I think that was the last thing which we have discussed as per my understanding. And today we are going to focus on our attention majorly on the product part, right? So as we have discussed four marketing mix elements yesterday, starting from product, price, place, promotion. So in this module, we will be talking about majorly on the product part and why it is important. I'll let you know. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay, I'll just confirm. Are you able to see my screen? The PPT is visible to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
very visible.
Right.
Thank you.
It is visible.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Right. So this is our agenda for today, and first we'll start with what is product. We'll try to understand our understanding about why we call product as product. So we'll try to understand its meaning in perspective of marketing. We'll talk about product placement. So suppose you are coming up with a new product in the market, or you want to establish your product in the market. So what is something which is really important? So we'll talk about this. There are different layers of product which are possible, right? We'll discuss the concept of product layers, followed by the different types of products that can be over there. Product life cycle is another very crucial concept if we talk about, and this gives a very clear understanding to us, like everything which comes in which has its own life, so it also goes out of the market, right? So what are those life cycle stages that can be over there for a product? We'll talk about this. Product is very much different from a brand, and that is one thing which we will spend some good enough time to have a very deeper understanding on this. Points of difference and points of parity is the another important aspect that is related to a product placement. So how your product can be very much different from all other competitors in the market, and what are those things which are can be similar to the competitors product, right? And in the last, today we are going to talk about the pricing decisions, right? So today we are going to cover the 2 P's out of 4 P's, right? So one is a product, second will be the pricing. So let's start our discussion for today. So first of all, I would like to know your understanding about this term product. What do you know about this term product? Yeah, I want your responses. I'm just hiding the slide for timing. Yeah, what is product for you? Yeah, you are free
Product.
to share your response in chat box as well. A commodity, okay,
Product.
okay,
Product is that medium that connects the buyer and the seller in whichever form.
product is the. Can you please come again, Jafar?
Yes, sir. Product is anything that connects the buyer and seller in whichever form.
Okay, right, got it. Okay, yeah, Mita, you are Isak Mita. You are also trying to say something.
Yeah, actually, I
Yes.
was about to say that product is same can be an item or a material or resources which a company is preferring to be providing to the people, clients.
Hmm. Okay, right.
Yes, Professor. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
Yes, product is anything physical that satisfies a need. Okay,
Okay.
this definition comes from economic perspective.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, you are making a sense actually. So I'm just reading quickly the responses which has come to a chat box. So yeah. So a few of you responded. Product is, just hold on. It's a commodity. Okay, it can be a commodity. It is whatever we are marketing. Nice. Uh, can be a service. Absolutely. There is no doubt. Product is good. Okay. Service or goods that people willing to pay a cost. Very nice. It can be an object or service. Tangible good, intangible refers to services. Wow, very nice.
Product
Product is just hold
tangible,
on. No, but
tangible
just type.
goods, tangible good,
Okay,
valuable, and have a price.
okay, right. It is a commodity that is referred to the market purpose for sale. Product is any item or service you sell to serve a customer needs or want. Tangible item, product willing to sell to achieve profits. Okay, very nice. Okay, so the understanding which you guys sharing with me, so almost most of you are in the same line of this on the same page, right? So let us try to develop an understanding which I'm trying to share here with you. Okay, I'm just confirming once again. My slides are visible to you. Any one of you can respond.
Yes, yes, sir, it is visible.
Right,
Yes,
right.
please.
Okay, great. Thank you. Right. So, what is actually a product? So, basically, a product is a combination of characteristics and features, right? I'm just trying to come up with a very most basic meaning which you can associate with this term. A product is something which has certain characteristics and features, and those characteristics and features have been developed based on customer needs. If you refer to this figure which is over there in front of your screen, so those features and characteristics have been incorporated in that product based upon the customer needs, and ultimately these characteristics and features again going to satisfy the customer needs. So what I'm trying to say here, customer needs are at the foundation, the customer needs are at the base. By keeping the customer needs in the mind, we come up with something that can be offered to them, and if it is something tangible, we call it product. If it is something tangible, if it is something physical entity, we call it product. And it is certain characteristics and features that can satisfy the emerged need. And that is the very very basic meaning which you can actually get out of this term product, right? So let me quickly show you some of the let me quickly share the meaning of the product which has been possibly you find on some in some books or some internet sources. A product is the item offered for sale that has been mentioned by a few of you. A product can be a service or an item. So that is also the response which many of you actually shared. It can be a physical or in a virtual or in a cyber form. Every product is made at a cost and it is sold at a price. And that is one important thing which we have to note here. Product is something which always comes up at a cost, right? So there are many possible costs which are associated with the product, and definitely there is a certain price at which it is being offered, right? And there is an exchange which is also possible with the products, right? So customers are ready to pay the money for the products which they are willing to buy. Another aspect talks about the concept of product as a bundle of benefits, and which seeks to explain the product from a viewpoint of a consumer. Because as a consumer, we were discussing yesterday, what is value? Value is equivalent to benefits minus cost. So as a consumer, product is nothing but a bundle of benefits, a bundle that can actually fulfill their utility, that can fulfill their purpose, right? So what is the idea? A product can be tangible, a product some can be intangible, that can be a service. But what meaning we are trying to associate here with the term product in context of marketing? There is something which is there for on offer, and there are customers which are ready to pay certain price, and those the something which is on offer, which can be tangible or intangible. It is a uh, it has a capability to satisfy the emerging needs, right? And it always starts from the needs. As I was mentioning yesterday, marketing is an activity which starts before anything is available for sale. It happens during the sale, it also happens after the sales, right? So similarly the case is there with the product. When we say product is there, so product has come out of because of there was a certain needs which we have identified. Now I'll show you a few pictures on your screen, and first I'll scroll through the pictures, And then I'll ask you a very simple question, right? So you are seeing a very beautiful bunch of flowers in front of you, right? In this other picture, there is a very popular dish which we call in India is a dahi bhalla or dahi bada. Maybe a few of you or maybe some of you are aware about this dish. It's a very delicious dish which you can find on a street food market or maybe some of the restaurants or shops which offers food products. There is a bucket which we uses on a very day-to-day basis, which you are seeing on your screen, and there are some matchsticks which we also uses and very widely consumed for home and industrial purposes. Bananas are also being consumed on a very daily basis, right? So what is the one common thing, if maybe you guys can actually tell me about this, all of these products, one common feature or common characteristic which you can tell me? Yeah, you are open to write it in the chat box as well. I'm taking a look at the chat box. So if I talk about
Yeah,
bunch of flowers, bananas or bucket, what is something common?
yes.
Yeah, please.
Uh,
Manual.
they are tangible. We can touch
They are
them.
tangible. Very nice. Okay. All of them are tangible goods. Okay. Anything else? Finished product ready for customers, or we can say ready for consumption. Very nice, Ravi.
And very qualitative. They are sharing quality in common.
Okay, so there is certain quality or a quality which is over there. We can also call it items as per Ibrahim. Okay. Okay, so what, let me quickly come to the point. Okay, they are all items and not service. Okay, understood. Okay, let me quickly come to the point which I'm trying to make here. Just a sec. Yeah. So see, I'm again scrolling through these images. So bunch of flowers, or maybe there is a food which is dish which is over there, food product which is over there, bucket is there, matchsticks, banana. See, what I'm trying to say here, or what message I'm trying to give you here, is product is something that can be physical, definitely, if we are referring to a tangible offering. And all of this have a one common characteristic which is over there apart from the tangibility is there is no any brand which is associated with it, right? So what I'm trying to say here, whenever we go for buying a bunch of flowers, or maybe if you buy a flower to maybe gift it to someone or offer it to someone, we never go for asking any particular brand, right? These are very core products. These are very I can say these are the products which are being sold as a product. There is no any brand identity which is associated with it, right? Similar is the case with dahi bhalla or this food item which is in front of you. So you can eat it any of the shops and maybe nearby shop which is convenient to you, and nobody actually talks about this dahi bhalla or dahi bada in terms of brand. Nobody say it should be from it should be from McD, it should be from Hindustan Unilever, right? There is no any brand associated with it. Mostly the case is there with the buckets as well. There are a few or maybe some brands which are available in the market. I'm not saying there are no brands which are available, but there is no very much brand identity which is associated with the buckets. Similar is the case with matchsticks. Banana is also very much being sold as a product, as a tangible product, right? So what meaning I'm trying to give you here is products are very much different from the brands, and definitely brands play a very prominent role in the overall marketing of the product. But there are certain products which are being sold without any brand identity, without any association of a brand with this product which is over there. So you can keep this message with you for a time being. We will come back to this point of product versus brand very soon once again. Now let us for time being, let us focus on product placement. And what is product placement? So as I was saying in the beginning itself, whenever we want to offer a product, that can be a physical product or a service, so there are three major things which your product should carry, or there are three essentials which you should focus upon. And if these three essentials are going to overlap or meet with your product, definitely there will be a acceptability of product or your product in the market. It always starts with knowing your user. You always have to focus upon your user, who is going to use your product, who is going to be the ultimate consumer. And if you are making sense, if your product makes sense for ultimate user, so definitely there will be the acceptability in the market, right? So whatever product, maybe a physical product, here I'm making a sense as a tangible product which you are creating, for a goods which you are creating, it should be having a utility, it should be solving the purpose of a user. If at all, if you don't know the user, if you don't know your users really well, whatever you are going to come up with, there will be a mismatch. Are you getting my point? There are users whom you know, whom you understand, then you come try to identify their needs and come up with a great product. There your users will give you a chance, your users will try to understand what is something which you are offering. The second important characteristics or essentials which we can talk about here is simplicity. See, whenever a customer or a consumer go for buying something, they want to solve their problems, right? So I was talking about this yesterday as well. So if you want to offer something to your potential customers or existing customers, so it should be having a capability to solve their pain points. What are their pain points? They are facing some issue in their life, there is a certain problem which they are facing, and if you come up with a right solution, it can be product, it can be service, it can be idea that can change their life. It should be simple. Why it should be simple? Because the basic purpose of that product should be fulfilled. The basic reason for which the product has come up in the market, it should get fulfilled, and that comes out of simplicity. The third important aspect with product placement is meeting the user expectations, right? And it is really important, right? At the end of the day, if you create a very great product, you charge lots of money for that product, you have priced it at a very high price, you put lots of efforts on your promotion, but at the end of the day, it is not meeting your customers' expectation or user expectation, then definitely there will be low acceptability of your product in the market. And how expectations are shaped, let me very quickly spend some throw some light on this as well. See, expectations have a very direct relationship with one, past user experience, right? So suppose you have bought a particular set of a mobile from X brand in the past. Now you used it for maybe 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, for whatever particular time, and you have your own past experience with that particular mobile phone brand, and you will carry it ahead whenever you are going to buy a new mobile phone. So suppose you bought a mobile phone of Samsung in the past, now you are buying maybe any other brand you can consider which is very much available in your local market, and now you are considering buying the another set of mobile phone. Your past experience is something which will shape your expectation, right? It will help you to set your expectation either high, moderate, or low, and that will depend upon it. Those expectation, those experience can be with the same brand as well. It is not necessarily a condition. Today you have bought a Samsung mobile phone, so after 4 or 5 years you are not going to buy any other Samsung mobile phone. It is a possible case you are buying it from the same brand, or maybe the similar product which you already used, but your expectations will change, but because the past experience is there. So what is the first and foremost important thing? The past experience. The second important thing which plays a very prominent role is the promises which has been made by a marketer, right? So there are many forms of promises which are being made by a marketer whenever they come up with a new offering, right? So first and foremost promise is the implicit promise. What is implicit promise? It is not really required to communicate certain aspects to the customer, right? So suppose you are again coming back to the example of buying a mobile phone. If you are buying a mobile phone, so it is not really required to tell you you can make a call using that particular mobile phone. You can also send a text message using that mobile phone. The signals will be good, or the user interference will be good in that mobile phone. So that is also an implicit promise which is over there. The product will be of quality. So certain amount which you are paying. So suppose you are paying 20,000 bucks for buying a particular set of mobile phone. So the desirable quality will come of that mobile phone, and that is also an implicit promise, right? So this implicit promise need not necessarily be told to the market. But one important thing which is over there is implicit promises also plays a very important role in shaping the expectation. Now there is a type B of promises which is explicit promise, right? What is explicit promise? Brands or companies or marketers clearly communicate, if you buy our mobile phone, you will be getting 5 years warranty. If you buy XYZ brand of mobile phone which we offer, you will be getting some additional accessories with this mobile phone. If you are going to buy our mobile phone, so definitely you will be getting a long battery life. If you are going to buy this mobile phone, there will be this or those things which you are going to date, XYZ, or maybe so on and so forth. So these are the features, these are the promises which they are making you very explicitly. They are communicating. They are telling you openly, we are going to fulfill these promises, right? So this is the second important thing which will help you to shape your user's expectation or a customer's expectation. So we have talked about two major things here. One, past experience, which will shape the customer's expectation. Second important thing is the promises, which will help them to set some expectations from them. And that can be high expectation, moderate expectation, low expectation. That depends upon the promises which they have made. Now, what is the idea? If at all your product is actually meeting those expectations, the promises which you have made and the past experience which the user had, so the customer satisfaction will come. And on the contrary, if it is going to happen like your product is not at all meeting the customer expectation, whatever promises which you have made, the product is completely opposite to that, or maybe not at all those criteria have been met, or maybe the past experience was good but this time the experience is bad, then also there will be a gap which is going to come, and this will become a major reason for a customer dissatisfaction. And remember one thing, if customer satisfaction is there, definitely there is acceptability of your products or services in the market. Or vice versa, if customers expectations are not meeting, or your products or services are not capable to fulfill those user or customer expectations, definitely there will be low user acceptability for your products or services in the market. So these are the three major essentials I would talk about, the or the you can call it elements which are required with to make your product stand in the market, to make your product stand in front of your competitors. And the space which you are seeing where these all three circles are overlapping, so your product can very stand strong here if all these three things are there with your product. So this is one brief idea which I wanted to communicate about product placement. uh, okay, let me hold on here for a few seconds. Wanted to know your understanding. Was that clear? The things which were discussed so far. Okay, okay. So thumbs up are coming
Yes,
in.
clear.
Right, right. Okay, guys.
It is okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Now let us try to understand another
Sir, I have
important framework.
some question.
Okay, just hold on. Let me go back.
Yeah. Where did the expectation
Sorry,
of customer come for?
Just one by one. Please, one by one. Okay. So who is coming first? Let me check.
Yeah, I'm talking about, yes,
Yes, Mike.
about the product expectation, customer expectation.
Mm-hmm.
How I get their expectation and the type of method use it to gathering the this information.
Okay, right. Okay. So first, I'll go back to that point which I have made. So customer expectations can be shaped through a past experience as well as using the right promises, the implicit and explicit promises which you are making to your customers. Now, if I talk about how you will understand like your customers' expectations, what kind of expectations they have, what is something they are expecting from you, right? This may be a question which may come in your mind, right? So how you can know it? So definitely market research can help you here, right? If you go into the market and try to understand what is something customers are looking for, what are the customers pain points which are over there, and is my product capable to solve those pain points, right? So if you find there are certain need which you are seeing in the market, some pain points which are over there, and this is something which customers are expecting, right? So when you do a market research, you will get an idea like customers are expecting something like this. They have faced some issues in the past with the maybe the other product, and now they are expecting something maybe advanced or improved version of that particular product. So those things will come out of market research. Second important thing which can help here is the feedback, right? So there are multiple companies, even most of the companies nowadays believe in taking the feedback, right? There are different forms in which feedback can be captured. Those feedbacks which they capture, so feedbacks will also tell you a very clear understanding about, are you able to meet the customer expectations or not, right? So this is something which happens once you actually try to offer something to them. So this is something which is a process which will be which you are going to do later on, but the initial thing can be dependent upon the market research. Feedbacks are nowadays very potent source to know the customers expectations. Are they happy or not? Your products are fulfilling their expectations or not? So that is something which you can get to know through feedback. Yeah, I hope this is clear. Yeah, any more questions or shall we move ahead?
I think that this is the same thing I wanted to ask. So, and the clarification is explicit. So I think we can make progress.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you. Okay. So now let us come to another important uh, concept of product layers, right? And Dr. Philip Kotler has propounded this idea of calling. So what is his thought? Each and every product can have 5 different layers, and please don't get me wrong, I'm not at all talking about a physical layer, right? Here I am referring to the layer which has been created as per the usability or applications of those of that product. So what purpose that product can solve, or what utilities can be solved through that product, right? So let me start with the very inner circle, which is known as a core product, right? So core product is something which fulfills the basic benefit or need of a customer, right? So again, I'm quoting the very simple example with which all of you can find a good connect. So all of you uses a mobile phone, right? So what can be a core product of if we refer to a mobile phone, it's a communication device, right? So the basic utility that can be served by a mobile phone is you can actually establish a connect with different people. It's a communication device, and that is known as a core product. Now, if we go back to the another layer, which is known as generic product, which provides actual product with tangible qualities, right? So your mobile phone comes with camera. Your mobile phone comes with a kind of a good screen quality. Your mobile phone comes with portable chargers, maybe the earphones which you can use, or maybe certain accessories which you can use with your mobile phone. And this is known as generic product. The idea is some tangible qualities are available in your mobile. It looks good, the shape is good, the screen size is good enough. All these are something which is a generic product. Now we move to the another layer of product, which is known as expected product, which offers generic product plus other attributes which customers want. So when I'm buying a mobile phone, I just don't only want a mobile phone which looks good, but it should have a good user interference. It should have a kind of the platform which is available in the mobile phone. In a sense, is it Android or is it maybe if you are using iPhone? So what kind of platform which is available which I can use, right? So that is important to me. Third important thing which I am considering is if I'm expecting something from product, so I should be able to perform some of the basic office job on my mobile phone. In a sense, suppose I do not have a laptop available with me, I do not have access to my office PC, so I should be able to access emails, I should be able to access my office ERP, I should be able to access some of the social media platforms. So these are the expectations which I have with the product, right? Similarly, different customers have a different expectations with a certain product, and that product layer is known as expected product. Means there are some expectations which can be fulfilled by your product. The another layer is augmented product, which gives more than physical product and sets it apart from the competitors. So now there is not only one product and not only one mobile phone brand which is available in the market, but there are more than 5 or 10 mobile phone brands which are over there. They are competing with each other on the basis of product features, the quality which they offer, on the basis of the kind of we can say the usability that can be over there, right? So the mobile phone cannot be only used for a communication purpose. Maybe you can do a presentations using mobile phone. You can use it as a remote to turn on your TV, or maybe you can also use your mobile phone to maybe turn on or turn off your air condition, right? So those are the things, those are the features which are available with your mobile phone. Those are the augmented features, right, which is making your life more and more simpler. At the last layer is a potential product that we talk about in future. So what can be a potential features product, so which provides additional tangible and intangible features. So potential product can be, so nowadays most of the functions can be fulfilled through a mobile phone, right? So maybe whatever brand of mobile phone you are using, there are multiple purposes that can be solved with using that mobile phone, right? But maybe you can expect in the future, in the coming 1 or 2 years, a potential product will come, and that can be used for a projection purpose. In a sense, rather than using a projector in a classroom or for office presentations, you will put your mobile phone on a stand, and there will be a kind of a light ray which will be coming out of your mobile phone, and with the help of that light ray you will be able to do a presentation. In a sense, the mobile phone will turn into a projector, and that can be a potential product or possibility that can be associated with the mobile phone. Even very interestingly, Amazon has come up with something like this. Amazon has actually trying to change the concept of television. They have come up with a small box which we usually call it, what we call it, Alexa. So on a similar note, they have developed one product which is not actually Alexa, but that can be used as a television, that can be used as a projector, maybe whatever inches of television screen you want. That will be simply a portable projector that you can keep at your table or at your bed. And it is not necessarily you should watch TV or projection on a screen. There is no screen which is required at all, right? So that is a potential product. So now a mobile phone can be turned into a projector, and that can be a potential which is that can be available with the mobile phone. So what is my idea here? A single product can have different layers, and I'm not at all saying each and every product comes up with all these 5 layers. But one thing is for sure, if you want your product should be accepted by your customers or your potential customers, so this core product, generic product, and expected product layers are the compulsory things. If you want to, if you want your product should stand in the market, so your product should have a features of a core product, generic product, as well as expected product. Augmented product is something where there is no limit. What features you want to add on, what are those things on which you want to focus to make your product different from your competitors. So maybe those things are very much subjective. Potential product is something also can be a choice for you. You want to remain into a mobile phone business, or you want to convert your mobile phone for one other purpose of converting into a projector. That is a choice. That is not compulsion for each and every mobile phone company, right? What is the idea? These 5 product levels or layers which have been actually propounded by Dr. Philip Kotler. So the core idea is a product is not just a product, but it has a multiple utilities. It can solve different purposes, and based on those purposes, there can be different product levels or layers which we can actually come up with. And that's the idea which this framework or concept is trying to communicate. Moving ahead, we will be talking about what are those types of products which can be available in the market, right? And the products can be divided into 3 major categories. first and foremost important is based on durability, right? So there are some durable goods and there are some non-durable goods, right? So durability means how long you can use a certain product, or maybe whatever life you can expect with a particular products which you are owning. So durable products can be the furnitures, televisions, laptops, mobile phones, which has its own shelf life, right? You can keep it, you can own it, you can keep it with you, and you can use it at a later point in time. So there is no compulsion you should use. So suppose today you're buying a television set, so you should watch a TV for the next 1 year on a continuous basis. These are durable products. These have a shelf life. It is up to you how frequently and how long you want to use it, and that is termed as durable products. There are some non-durable products. So most of these foods, vegetables, milk, if I talk about fruits, all of this comes under non-durable, and it has a very limited shelf life, right? So some of these food items comes up with a 1 day life, 2 day life, maybe for a if you are buying breads, so maybe for a week you can use it, or maybe some of them can have a shelf life of 15 or 20 days. And these products are actually known as non-durable products. So that is the one category of product which is based upon the durability, and those are the durable and non-durable products. There is a second important category which is based on use or usage. So one another subcategory of under based on usage is industrial goods, and another one can be the consumer goods. So what are the industrial goods? So some of the raw materials, machinery, components, operating supplies, oil, fuel, all of this comes under industrial goods. On the other side, there are some consumer goods which are consumed by end consumer. So some convenience goods are there and the shopping goods are there. So what is the difference between the two? Just a second. Yeah, so some convenience goods are there, some shopping goods are there, and some specialty goods are there. So what differences we can make among these three? So convenience is good is something which we buy for our convenience, right? So again, all this milk, grocery, food items, or maybe all those products which you buy much more frequently, much more on a repetitive basis, are termed as convenience good. The another category is known as shopping goods, and shopping goods are something which you buy on some occasions, or maybe the frequency is not as much as the convenience good, right? So shopping goods are, so maybe you buy a pair of jeans, a pair of shoes, you buy some new jeans, you buy some new shirts on a monthly basis. Maybe you buy certain items which can be used at your household, and those are not groceries, right? Shopping goods are something which you buy for, maybe not for your need but for your want. Maybe you buy a new laptop bag, you are buying maybe a new water bottle which is required to you maybe for a certain purpose. So shopping goods are those products which you buy not on a very frequent basis. You spend some good amount of time in making a decision to buy shopping goods, right? So whenever you go for buying maybe a pair of shoes, or if you're ordering it online, so you spent a good amount of time and efforts on buying a pair of shoes. Suppose you are buying a new mobile phone or a new laptop, so that will also come under a shopping good, where you are spending a certain amount of time or efforts in buying a shopping goods. The specialty goods are the high priced goods, and maybe it's up to you. You may consider laptops or some, even the Apple's mobile phone can be considered under the specialty goods. So these are the luxury goods, or maybe these are the goods which you may buy maybe over a period of time. So suppose today you have bought a new vehicle, maybe a bike you have bought. So after a duration of maybe 4 years, 5 years, or how long you want to use your newly purchased vehicle or a bike, so it depends how. So the frequency will be much more longer, right? So it is not as frequent as you buy a grocery. It is not as frequent as you buy a milk. So specialty goods are a high priced goods, and you spend a good amount of time, efforts, energy in buying these goods. So suppose if you have to buy a new bike, so definitely you will take a look at all those options which are available in the market. You will do a good amount of research over internet. You will visit to the outlets of the bikes which are available in your city. You will try to to take a test drive. Then you will take the quotation from them. Then you will be negotiate about the prices, the mode of payments, maybe the bank loan if you want, EMI you want to pay. So all those things, all those efforts you will put to buy a specialty good. Similar is the case with the ornament. Similar is the case with the all those products which are high priced product, and these are termed as specialty goods. The another category of products can be based on tangibility, and as you all are very much aware about this, so tangible products are the goods. Tangible products are the goods which can be stored for a longer period of time. You can own it. You can have a possession of it. And intangible products are the services that cannot be stored, that cannot be used at later point in time, right? Anyway, we have a dedicated topics in block 4 on marketing of services, so I'm not spending much time on this here, but this can be the another categorization based on tangibility. So if we try to classify the product under the major categories, so there are 3 broad categories, and under this there are some subcategories which we have talked about just now. Okay, so I'll take a pause here and just wanted to know any questions, any query in this point in time. Yeah. You can put your question in the chat box as well if you want. So far, so good.
Yeah, so far so good, Dr. Anurag.
Okay.
I have a
Thank you.
question.
Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, please. Ishaq.
Actually, can you just explain on the type of product based on tangibility, based on the tangible? You have
Okay.
mentioned a number of component areas there, so I missed some areas.
Okay, absolutely. No issues at all. Let me throw some light on this. Right. So if I talk about tangible goods, so tangible goods are something which you can own it, you can store it with you can have a possession over it, and maybe you can buy it today and use at later point in time. So suppose you are buying a new watch today. So those the watch is considered as a tangible good because it is a physical product. You are owning it today. You will be wearing it maybe on a regular daily basis over the period of time. You will be wearing on different occasions, and you have a ownership on that watch, right? So certain price which you have paid, in exchange you have actually bought that watch, and now you have ownership and a possession of that watch, right? So those products which are tangible in nature are known as goods, or tangible goods which we call them. On the contrary, intangible products are the services, and you cannot have a ownership of services, right? Why I'm saying so, you buy it and you use it simultaneously. So the production and consumption of services happen simultaneously. So suppose if you have to buy maybe any new OTT service, right? You want to watch movies online, and you want to watch it buy a OTT service. So whatever money which you pay, you can use the service for a fixed time duration, and you cannot own the complete services, right? So what is the idea? There is no tangibility associated with the services, and second, there is no ownership. Why there is no ownership? Because the ownership is a time bound. So suppose you are buying a plan for 6 months, so for that 6 months period you can only own that service. It is not the case you can own the company by paying the 6 months price, right? Another idea here is, suppose you are traveling from one place to another and you book your tickets. So you're paying money for the particular seat which you reserved. It is not the case you bought a complete train. It is not the case you bought a complete airline, right? What is the idea? Services are something which is intangible. It is time based activity. You pay it and you use it. So the production and consumption happens on a simultaneous basis, and that is the major difference between the tangible goods and intangible services. I hope it is clear, it makes sense.
Yes, doctor. Thank you for the elaboration. I still have
Yeah, it's clear now.
another
So thank you.
question, sir.
Right, right.
Hello,
Okay,
sir.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that the difference between, or to better clarify the differences between tangible and intangible product, can we still look at it in the basis of, on the aspect of physicality? That is, the tangible one are the physical product, and intangible non-physical, or the physical product I cannot actually touch or see. Can we actually consider that as the basic for classifying or differentiating the two?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Why
you, sir.
not? So, see, anyway, as I was mentioning, so there is a dedicated topic on marketing. There are dedicated topics on marketing of services, which I'm going to cover in the block 4. That's why I'm not discussing about marketing of services here in detail. But there are certain characteristics which make services different. And one of those characteristics which you have mentioned, you cannot touch, feel, or test services before you buy it, right? So it is all about experience. So you go for watching a movie. So until and unless you will watch the movie, you cannot experience the service, right? So that is the biggest difference between the intangible services and tangible goods. Okay, so if it is clear, let us move ahead because there are few more. There are some more things which we have to discuss. Yeah. Now let us come to another interesting framework which is known as product life cycle, right? So if I talk about product life cycle, so see, as I was mentioning in the very beginning, so whatever which takes a birth, and that's a very very basic concept I'm talking about. If we talk about human life, so there is a certain age which up to which we can live, right? Right. So there is a certain life which each and everything's on this earth or in this planet, which is a time bound activity, right? So there is a certain life which is associated with each and every activity or each and every I would say the living beings. If we talk about, so there is a certain life which is over there. So similarly is the case with the products. Definitely products have a much longer life as we compare to the human life, but what is the idea? Product also takes a birth, it comes up in the market, it sees the most happiest moments of its life, and that comes to the decline, right? So let me go through the all of these stages one by one. So what actually happens? So suppose you have identified the pain points of your customers. You already understood what is customers are looking for, and where there is a gap exists, and now you have come up with a very great product idea, right? So let me quote one such example. So see, where the gap exists, I'm just sharing one such example. So actually Swiggy and this Zomato, both of them are very much active players in terms of online food ordering, right? So you can order food using Zomato, you can order food using Swiggy, but there was a gap which was existed in the market. See, people don't always want to order food. They may want to order something which is not a food, but maybe a book. They want to order something which may be something, a small key, which they want to share it with their friends. So I'm sitting in a particular part of a city and I want to send a car key or maybe a bike key to my friend who is sitting in his office in next half an hour. So this gap, this problem was existed, and a new company has come up with a solution which is known as Dunzo, which is into both B2B, B2C, and C2C. So three areas in which they are working, right? And I'm taking an example of a service here because that is a service which has come up. And why I'm referring to a service, because we are considering product as a good as well as intangible service. So Dunzo has come up in the market with the right solution, right? So we have discussed initially, marketing is not only meant for tangible goods. It can be meant for services. It can be meant for solutions, some ideas which can come up in the market. So Dunzo has actually solved that problem and come up with that particular service where you can send any article to your family, friends, or you can order something from a particular shop, and that is very much possible, right? Let me quote once another such example, which is from the product domain, which is from the tangible goods domain, right? So uh, HP has come up with a Pavilion series of their laptops, right? So why they have come up with the Pavilion series? Uh, because what was happening, Pavilion series has one particular specialty or feature which is over there. Pavilion series laptops come with mostly the touch and type both, and most of the models, if I talk about Pavilion series, so both the features are available. And second important thing is you can have a much more flexibility with that laptop. You can turn it completely, you can open it up to 180-degree, you can fold it and open it up to 180-degree. The speaker, the screen quality, all of this are very much different. And how they've come up with this idea, because customers were looking for a laptop which can be a touch and type both, right? And that solution has been, that product solution, that product has been introduced by HP, right? So what actually happens whenever a product comes in the market, it comes at an introduction stage, right? So you can see there are some points which are written over here. So in introduction stage, what happens, the sales remains very low. Why is it so? Because the product is just come in the market, it is at a very a very introductory stage. Not many customers are aware about it, right? So there will be very high cost per customer which will be over there, because you are putting lots of efforts on your promotion, you are putting lots of money in marketing your product, and financial losses may also happen, right? So the money which you quote, the price which you are offering, at which you are offering your product, so it won't get recovered so easily, right? Some innovative customers will be there who will be accepting these products, because customers have their own questions and queries in mind. If the touch is not going to work tomorrow, if there will be some maintenance issues which will come with that particular laptop. So I'm just coming up with some generic queries. So only innovative customers who want to try something new, who want to do the experiment, they will try your product. And there will be very few competitors. Maybe there can be any other brand which is already selling this kind of product in the market, and a limited handful competitors will be there in the market when your product is at an introduction stage. Then your products actually take off. Gradually the demand comes up about your product, and your product achieves a growth stage. It comes to a growth stage, or it achieves a growth in its life, right? Then what happens, you see there is a gradual increase in sales. Now customers are aware about your product, your brand. They are asking, they are coming to the store, they are searching for your products online, right? Now the cost per customers will fall. In a sense, your cost will go down, because there are more customers who are buying your product. Your profit will rise, or maybe now this is the stage where you will first time see the profit, because in the introduction stage all the costs were there, so you are not making the profit. But at a growth stage, now you started making a profit. There are increasing number of customers, the customers are also giving you a referral business, right? And there are more competitors who have come up in the market, because from last 2 years when you are at the introduction stage, so there were many more competitors who launched the similar kind of products at maybe at a lower prices, right? But still there is something unique about your product. There are some features that can satisfy the customer needs, and that is the reason the checkout will happen. As you are seeing over here, the checkout will help you to attain a maturity stage. And as I was saying in the beginning, so each and every most of the product, I should correct myself, most of the products which have a capability to satisfy customer needs or want, actually they see the golden period of their life, and which is a maturity stage, right? And we can also call it as a saturation, right? And this is a stage where there is a peak sales, right? And peak sales means how much sales target which you have actually kept in your mind on a for a yearly basis, you are achieving that, even you are crossing that. Cost per customer is now become lowest, because now you no more investing your money in terms of promotion. The promotion you are doing is list. There are no money which you are spending on advertisement, and the cost to serve per customer has become too low. Profits are high. There is a mass market acceptance for your products, and there are some stable number of competitors which are over there. So in the last 3 or 4 years, all those competitors who have to come up with the similar products, they will come up in the market, they are competing with your products, and you are aware about them. at what price they are offering the product, what are the features they have, what is something unique about your product. So all these things are very much well known to you, right? So maturity is a stage where you will earn most of the profit out of that product which you launched in the market. This is the golden period for your product, where your product maybe become so much successful, like it will actually give you a cash flow for the next 5 or 10 years. It is also a possible case, right? But as I was mentioning, anything which comes, which has its own life, it has its death as well. So death is also something which is determined, right? So decline is a stage where your product sales go down, its demand go down. Now the saturation stage has also actually gone out, and now you see there are falling sales. Cost per customer is low, still low, because now you are not putting much efforts on your advertisement or promotion. Profits are falling because previously the per unit cost was actually less, and more customers were buying your product, but now the customer base has actually got contracted. There are less customers which are over there, and number of competitors are also not there in the market, because this is not a new product. It has attained its own life in the last few or maybe some years, and this is a decline stage, right? So these are the four stages through which most of the products go through. One important thing which you have to pay attention here is, not each and every product actually passes through all these stages. That is the one particular condition. Second important condition is, maybe one product is spending more time on introduction stage than less time on growth, but spending much more time on maturity stage. And on the contrary, there is a possible case a product has reached out to an introduction stage, then it has reached out to a growth stage, but it couldn't attain a maturity, and it has directly gone to a decline stage. Why is it so? Because after this growth stage, out of any reason, the technology is completely changed, or maybe certain factors have impacted your product, out of which nobody is now looking for that kind of product. Nobody wants to buy something which you are offering, and that is the reason you won't be able to attain a maturity stage. You will directly go to a decline stage, and that is also a possible case with certain products. So what is the idea? This is one particular concept or framework which talks about, for each and every product which comes up in the market, it has a certain life which is over there in the market, and after attaining its own life, it will go to decline. And that's the main thought behind the product life cycle. I hope this is pretty clear to you. Any questions or query related to this? Because now we are moving to the second part of this session.
Yes, sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, please ask.
My question,
Yeah,
sir, is
please ask.
you say not all product pass through this diagram you have explained. So can you help us with the example of those products
Okay,
that
right.
are not
Okay.
to pass through?
Okay, so first and foremost, first thing let me do is let me rephrase the terms which I used. I'm not saying each and every product doesn't pass through. Maybe that is one true thing which is over there. The second important thing which I'm talking about is, each and every product doesn't state all these stages, right? So it is not a necessary condition a product which is coming to introductory stage should necessarily go to a growth stage. Sometimes it happens today a product has been launched, and within 5 days, 10 days, or within a month, it has become so successful, it has come to a maturity stage. The growth stage has not been seen it at all, right? Let me quote one such example, which is not a product but which is a service, right? So I think all of you are very much aware about chat gpt. So chat gpt is a reality of today. And if you see how much time other social media apps, if you compare it with this, there is a research which is available on this, how much time WhatsApp has actually took to attain that maturity stage, how much time Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so on and so forth has took its own time to attain that stage, and compare it to the chat gpt. So within a span of a few months, it has become that much popular, that acceptance has become too much. So the growth stage has not come at all. It has directly gone to maturity stage. It happens with some products as well, right? So a new product possibly has been introduced in the market and there is a high acceptability rate and customers are willing to buy it and they want to pay extra price as well because that is something which is they are fascinated about. So that may also happen. One particular case which one or two examples which I would like to quote with the products which actually necessarily not go through all these stages. Coca-Cola, as some of you are mentioning, it's a brand, it's not a product. Let me first clarify you the difference between product and service. Coca-Cola is a brand, product is soft drink. So that is the one understanding. I'll come to that point once again. Uh, First is matchsticks is one such product, the matchbox which you buy. So it has actually where it come to a growth stage, to a maturity stage, but over the period of time, it has not seen any decline. And even there is no much growth which has been seen in the demand of matchsticks because these are the products which doesn't follow this classical bell-shaped curve. Gas cylinders, right? So gas cylinders which we who uses at our home or maybe a kind of product which he uses on a very regular occasion and there is no much innovation which has happened in that particular product industry. So you will see that product has not gone through all the stages. It has been introduced in the market, it has attained a growth, but it is still at maturity from last 10, 15 or 20 years because the demand is same as like before. Are you getting my point? So there are some exceptions which can be over there. There are some products which passes through all the stages. There are some products which may not see the rising sun. They die at the introduction stage only, right? One such product is the pagers. So around 1990s, or if I'm not wrong, around 1995, the pagers have been introduced in the market. Worldwide pagers have come up. And before pagers could have seen the rising sun, in a sense, before pagers could see the growth stage, the mobile phones have been introduced in the market. And pager phones never could ever gone to a maturity stage. Maybe in some markets, if I say there are some exceptions, maybe in some parts of world pagers have been used, or maybe for some specific purpose it have been used. So in those cases, you can see there are some exceptions, but mobile phones have actually replaced the complete market of pager phones, and there is no utility left for pagers. So that has not seen the maturity stage. It has died at a growth stage only, even not a growth stage, at introductory stage only. So these are some exceptions that can be over there, and which are over there where the complete product life cycle doesn't get completed. Is this clear? Any more questions?
Thank you, sir. I'm okay with the response, sir.
Just
I'm okay with the response, sir.
Just a sec. My mic got disconnected. Okay, let me just remove this because there is some issue with the. Yeah, can you please come
Hello,
again?
sir.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, sir, let me just express myself whether I'm right regarding the situation that will make it possible for a particular product to pass through these four life stages or otherwise. So I think the tendency for a particular product to actually pass through all these stages or otherwise is dependent upon the prevailing circumstance. For example, the environment as a factor, you understand, and the other possibilities for the existing competitors in that particular environment. So these are possible reasons that may likely make a particular product to pass through all the stages. And there's a time to be spent at each stage is also to be determined by the prevailing circumstance. So as you have rightly said, exceptions exist. It is not a common rule that must all the product pass through. So that is the way I view it.
No, absolutely. So you are making a very valid point. Even in some cases, what happens? So there are different factors which actually impacts. Let me just come to that point. Let us spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes more on this topic, because that is one of the core topics of this particular block. In some cases, what happens, so there are factors which impacts the product life cycle. So when it is at introductory stage, or at a growth stage, or at a maturity stage, so first and foremost important thing is the utility itself, and that determines the life of a product. How much utility is there, and if it gets changed, sometimes that happens. I no more require those products which I was using maybe 5 or 10 years back, because my life has changed, because the way I used to live my life, I used to depend upon my life upon certain products. I no more need those products, right? One such example can be the classic cameras which were over there, right? So Canon, or if I talk about Nikon, or if I talk about Sony, who used to manufacture the classic cameras, reel based cameras, I hardly no more require those cameras. As a customer, I'm asking about. So as a customer is not at all required those cameras now, because the technology is changed, uh, the utility has changed, and the customers are now looking for something which are not the what something which they were using in past. Another factor can be the innovation or technological change which is happening in the market, and it also depends. Let me tell you one interesting thing. All products doesn't get impacted through technology, but most of the products get impacted through technology. Please mark my words. Nowadays, if you talk about, so most of those products which have a high impact of technology, its life is very less, right? Either you come up with a new product model, either you come up with a new solution. So its life has become less, because technology is changing very fast, and so the consumers behavior and consumers taste and preferences are changing, and they may not require the same product after a few years. So technology is the another important factor which is impacting the lives of product. Third important reason or factor can be uh, uh, the substitutes which may come in the market, right? And I was quoting the example of camera, right? So camera market has not only gone down because there was a change in the technology which has happened, but also what has happened, Nokia has come up very first time with a good camera quality. Sony has come up with a good camera quality in their mobile phone. So now people don't necessarily need a camera to capture the pictures. They have their mobile phones in their hand, and why should they spend money on buying a camera? Those who are enthusiasts, those who like photography, those who want their professional hands to be there on camera, these are the people who are buying the cameras. But other people are buying the mobile phone with a good camera quality, right? So substitutes have come up in the market, and now this is the another factor which has impacted the camera business, right? So what is my point? These are some of, I'm not restricting to these three factors. There is a paucity of time, but these are the three major factors which were discussed, which impacts the product life cycle. So how long your product life cycle will be there depends upon these three major factors. I hope it is pretty much clear to all of you. Okay, so let me quickly start sharing my screen, because there are many more things which we have to talk about. Right. Now let us try to develop a good amount of understanding between product and brand. So initially I was talking about this, so I'll spend good amount of time on this topic. So what is a product? A product is an object built in a factory, and it can be easily copied. It is sold by a merchant and becomes quickly outdated. And why it becomes quickly outdated? Because product has a certain life. We have just discussed product life cycle, right? So it is a physical product which is built in a factory in a certain quantity with a certain quality, and there are many competitors which are over there in the market who can exactly copy your products, right? So same design can be copied, same features can be copied, same colors can be introduced in the market, right? And that is the reason it becomes outdated. But on the contrary, if you compare it with the brand is a personality built on trust and relationships. So many of you are mentioning Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is a brand which has been built over a period of time. It is not a product, and it's unique. It is different from all other competitors, and it is bought by a customer, or a customer who buy a brand by having it their own preference towards it, right? And a great brand is timeless. There is no life to a particular brand. So what I'm trying to say, brands also come up in the market, brands also emerges in the market, but the lifespan of a brand is much more than a product. So sometimes what happened, a product died, a product declined its demand in the market, but the brand gives it a new life. A new brand come up, a rebranding of a same product can be done, and you see there is a demand which has again been created for that product. Why it happens? Because brand is something which becomes a reason for people to buy a certain products. So brand is something which is different from a product. And please don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to separate both of these things, but as a marketer you should have a very clear understanding about what is product and what is brand. Both of them have its own different understanding and meaning which is over there. Now there is a small, very small quick activity which is on your screen. You have to pay attention, you have to unmute yourself and let me know what are those, how you can categorize it among these three categories: product, brand, and company. So just pay attention to these images and let me know what is product, what is brand, and maybe what is company here. Have you got what you need to do here? You have to categorize all three categories which are over there. You have to separate it, what you can call as products, what you can call it as a brands, and what is something you can refer as a company.
So, the first
Company, product, brand.
the first picture, sir, is the company. The second picture is the product, and the third picture is the brand.
Okay. Okay. What about others? What about others thing? Are you on the same line? On the same page?
Company, product.
Yeah, on the same page.
Okay, very nice. So if all of you are clearly able to understand this, then you got the meaning or difference between the product and brand, right? So you're right, actually. So Unilever, if I talk about here, so Unilever is a company. These are the second category, which is you can call it as a product. Shampoo is a product. Soap is a product, right? Noodles is a product. Ice cream is a product, right? But what are the brands? You can see the name of some of the brands which are offered by Unilever. So Nor is a brand which is available for noodles. Feast or Quality Walls is a brand which is available for ice creams. Similar is the case. Surf Excel is a detergent brand. Pierce is a soap brand. Clinic Plus is a shampoo brand. So are you understanding my point? These are the brands, these are the identities which are created for the products which are over there in the center, and it is offered by a company which is known as Unilever. Now let us try to understand what is the meaning of brand, right? So brand is something which is a combination of three major things. What you say about yourself, in a sense, as a company, what you say, who you are. Second important thing, what your employees say about you, what your employees think about you, how they perceive you. And the third category of categories of the customers, what your customers say about you. If you combine these three things, it becomes a brand, right? And why is it so? Because it is really important, all of three should be in sync. What you say about yourself as a company, what your employees think about you and say about you, and what your customers say about you. It actually creates a strong brand identity of your brand, right? And brand is actually not is a combination of what? Of products and services which are branded. It gives a visual look and feel, and it can be a combination of past experiences, advertisement, logo, website, the image which is over there in your mind. All this combinedly shapes a brand. So brand is something which is not physical, It is something which is intangible. It is something which is an image, which has been identity or image, which has been created in the minds of your consumers. It is more about associations. It is more about stories which are over there in your mind. And that is the reason I would bet on this thing. People actually remember brands for a more longer period of time than the products. In even most of the cases, we remember the brands rather than the products. So whenever we say we have to buy a detergent, either we say Surf Excel or maybe some other popular brands in your respective countries. If we say I have to buy a particular, I want an ice cream. So whatsoever brand which is on top of your mind, you name it first. Similar is the case with, as many of you are mentioning about Coke. So whenever you want to drink a soft drink or any beverage, so you go for buying Coca-Cola, not for buying a soft drink. And that is what? That is a brand. That is a kind of association which is over there in your mind. So that is known as brand. Now there is another important aspect which we have to talk about the product, and why I'm talking it about this now, because now you understood the clear difference between products and brands. There is another important concept which talks about points of difference and points of parity. So what is points of difference? So the points which makes your product very much different from all your competitor products, and these are known as points of differences. And points of parity means similarity. So what are those similar things which are available in your product which makes it similar to your competitor products? So, and we always do it in terms of category, right? So we can never compare apples with oranges or oranges with bananas, right? Apple is another type of fruit, banana is another type of fruit, and oranges are a different type of fruit. So what is my idea? Whenever we talk about points of difference and points of parity, we compare apple with apple, oranges with oranges. So what I'm trying to say here, suppose you are comparing a particular brand of a bike or a product which is a bike which is over there. So you will compare it with another brand of a bike. You will compare it with the another company which offers the bike, not a moped, not with a car, right? So category membership is really important whenever we talk about points of difference and points of parity. Now if you want your product, I'm combinedly using the term product and brand here. Why? Because now you understood both of this. Now if you want your product and brand should have a strong market presence, so you should have certain points of differences in your product or more points of differences in your products, and at least a few points of parity or maybe some points of parity as similar to your competitors. Let me elaborate on this. What is something this all about, right? So you have your own company brand which is over there, and which has its own identity, which has its own image in the minds of customers. There is a competitor brand which is also available in the market, right? So there are 4 or 5 different brands which are available in the market, and there is a customer which are your common customers. Means, so suppose if you market a pair of shoes, you are someone who is into a shoes industry. So there are some common set of customers whom you also reach out to, your competitors also reach out to, right? So what is the idea here? Your product or your brand should have points of parity in terms of why you are different from all other competitors. And you should have points of difference means why you are different from all other competitors which are available in the market. And points of parity means why there are some similarities which are over there in between you and your competitors. And it is really important. Why is it so? Because this gives you enough reason to this gives an enough reason to your customers to buy your products. And why is it so? Because shoes is a category membership, right? So Nike is known for shoes, Adidas is known for shoes, right? Or maybe there are some other brands which are known for shoes. So until and unless there will be having a category membership, you won't be able to survive, right? So let me share one such example here with you, right? So Levi's is a worldwide known jeans brand which is available in the market, right? So there are points of parity which makes Levi's similar to other jeans market or the other jeans manufacturers, right? So Levi's manufactures and offers jeans, and there are other brands which are available in the market who also manufactures and offers jeans. It is a middle price range positioning which Levi's does, and there are many other brands which offers the products of the same price range. There is a distribution channel which Levi's follows. They have their own independent stores, Levi's stores, which are over there. They offer it through some of the other stores, clothing stores, and maybe they are also offering it online. Similar distribution channels are being used by the Levi's competitors, right? But where the Levi's is very much different from all other jeans brands, they are pioneer in blue jeans. So very first time, uh, whosoever has come up with a concept of blue color jeans, or maybe a jeans which is very much unique and of a blue color, so they are the one who have come up with this. Quality and strength of the products is very much different from all other jeans brand. There is a authenticity of a brand which is over there, right? So by authenticity, because whenever you see Levi's tag which is over there, you are sure about the quality of a jeans which you are buying, and there is very strong brand awareness top of the mind, right? So whenever people say I want to buy jeans, so if you are going to buy any branded jeans, planning to buy branded jeans, Levi's name will always come at the top. Or maybe you will be comparing all other jeans brand with the Levi's brands. Why? Because Levi's is on the top of your mind. So these are termed as the points of differences, right? So if you want your product or brand, as I'm using both the terms together here, if you want your brand and your product to have an exceptional performance in the market, you should have a good enough points of differences with certain points of parity, and this will help you to have a strong brand presence in your in whatever market in which you are competing. I hope this is pretty clear to you. Yeah. Any questions, any queries? Clear? Okay, Richard. Okay, if you could get this concept really right, then definitely I'm making sure, I'm very much sure about this. You won't ever get confused between products and brands. And whenever you will think about to come up with a new product or new brand in the market, if you go with this basic mechanism of points and difference and points of parity, there are most probable chances you will stand right and different from all other competitors which are available in the market. So I'm coming back to my slides, just a few sec. Yeah. So now let us talk about pricing. So we have spent a good amount of time on product because that was a major discussion. I wanted to do a very detailed discussion about this. Now we'll spend another 15-20 minutes on this pricing and a few topics which are related to this, right? Why pricing makes importance, as we were discussing yesterday as well. Out of all four P's of marketing mix, pricing is something which is a revenue center or a profit center for your business, and money will come to your business through price only. Whatever price which you will quote and customers will pay you accordingly, you will get generate some revenue and profit. And pricing is not a decision which you can make over the night, right? Pricing is a very careful, considered decision which is been done by a marketer, and it determines the success or failure of your product. So people will accept your product or not. That is very much dependent upon pricing, and price sensitivity is common all across. So it is not the case. There are many price sensitive customers all across the world, and why they are sensitive, it is not only about please don't get me wrong, I'm not at all saying people want a low price always, but they want a reasonable price. Whatever money they are paying, they want a good amount of benefits which they expect. So pricing is a very important decision in the marketing, and as a marketer, much success of your products or services depends upon pricing. So there are certain objectives that can be over there when you are doing a pricing, and this pricing can be a profit oriented. First and foremost, objective can be to earn the profit. You want to earn a good amount of profit, and that is the reason you are doing the pricing. So you can do it either by keeping target return in your mind, right? So suppose you are selling a water bottle, and 500 units of a water bottle you sell per day, and you want minimum 50 rupees per unit or per bottle in a day, and that is a target return which is in your mind. Another profit oriented objection is you want to maximize the profit. So today you are selling 500 water bottles, tomorrow you wanted to sell 600 water bottles, but you don't want 50 rupees, but you want 60 rupees as a margin, you want 70 rupees as a margin, right? Whatever price at which you are offering, right? So what I'm trying to say, it can be a target return which you can keep in your mind, or maybe another objective is to maximize your profit. That can be done through profit orientation. Another objective can be sales orientation. You want to do more and more sales, right? So dollar or per unit sales growth you want. So every day when you are selling something, so how much per unit sale growth which is happening, or you want a growth in market share. So there are 5 competitors, strong competitors who are competing with you, and you stand at a third position in terms of market share. Now you want to grow your market share, you want more and more customers to accept your products and services, and you want to come achieve second position. And that can be done through sales. In a sense, your products will be more and more accepted in the market, there will be more and more sales of your products and services, and your market share will expand. The third objective can be a status quo pricing. Status quo means you want to maintain a certain standard of your products or brand. You are not actually popular in the market because of just quality or quantity. You are also popular because the price which you quote, customers always are ready to buy at that price, right? So Apple is one such example which is over there. All across the world, they are known for their status quo. Whatever price they keep, they always keep it high, and they want their customers to buy their products always at a high price. And that is one thing which they always do, right? So status quo can be maintained to meet the competition because there are other players in the market and you want to stand different from them. Or it can be a non-price competition. You are not actually only looking at the price as a competition, but you want to maintain a status which makes you very much different from other marketers. So maybe you are not Apple, but you are someone who is not only known for price, but for known for your quality, known for your durability. And pricing is going to be one of the reasons people will accept your products or services. So these are the three major objectives that can be achieved in terms of pricing. It can be a profit orientation, it can be sales orientation, or it can be a status orientation. Uh, One last thing I would like to discuss here is whenever we make a pricing decision. So as I was mentioning, it's one of the most important decisions, marketing decisions we can consider. There are certain factors which affect your pricing decision, and you cannot just do a pricing by keeping one aspect in the mind, right? So what are those factors which impact your pricing? So the inner circle which you are seeing over here as outside this pricing decision, these are known as the internal factors, and you have a certain amount of control over this, right? So let us first discuss these internal factors, then we'll come to these external factors which you are seeing in the external circle which is over there. So cost is the one important factor which is internal to your organization, and how much cost you want to incur in terms of your production, in terms of your marketing and promotion activities, in terms of your distribution activities, in terms of your serving customers. So those costs can be controlled by you and decided by you, but it impacts your pricing decision. What are your objectives of doing business? Why you are into this business? Why you want to do business in the future? Those objectives can determine the price. Product differentiation, how your product is different from all other competitors in the market. What is a USP which you have which no other products have in the market? All these things can impact pricing decision. Your marketing mix. So here we are seeing pricing as a part of as a whole, as a part of marketing mix element. Now how much efforts you put on your product, how much efforts you put on your place, how much efforts you put on your promotion, what are those resources which you incur on that, how much balance and that is also really important. If you talk about four primary marketing mix elements, the balance of all these four is also very important. And there are some organizational factors which are over there, which can be the size of your organization, size of your business, how many products which you offer, what type of services which you offer. All those things also going to impact your pricing decisions. So all of these factors are combinedly known as the internal factors, right? The other category of factors is the external factors, which is the outer circle. So how many buyers are there for your products? How many people are ready to accept the products which you offer in the market? And that is going to impact your pricing decision. How much demand is coming from the market, right? How many people are willing to buy your products and they are ready to pay the price which you are quoting, and that will help you to determine the price of your products. Economic conditions of the market, overall market is growing, or maybe there is a slowdown in the market. There is a impact of COVID which can be over there. So we can see in year 2020 worldwide, even from complete year 2020 and 21, so there was a very severe impact on all businesses due to COVID-19, right? So what is the idea? Economic conditions can also determine how much price you can keep. There are certain government regulations which are over there, right? So for each and every country, there are some regulatory body which determines which product should not be charged up to a certain amount, which products should not, which products are the basic commodities, which products are the high price goods, and you can charge some additional amount. Those are determined by the government. Another important factor can be competition. If more players will be there, definitely there will be less price you will be able to get, because there is a stiff competition which is over there, right? Suppliers, who are your suppliers? How much cost you require to incur on your raw materials, equipments, machineries which you use, and accordingly your costing is going to impact your pricing. So what is the idea? All these factors which are in the outer circle, these are not controllable by a single organization or a single marketer. And these are some independent factors from a single marketer, right? Marketers are dependent upon them, but they are not dependent upon a single marketer. But if I talk about all these factors which are in the inner circle, these are up to extent controlled by a single marketer, and they can impose control over it. And these are dependent upon a single marketer because this is their internal environment factor. So these are the factors which are going to impact your pricing decisions. And I'm again coming back to point from where I started talking about price. Price is a revenue center for your business. Price is a one of the profit center for a marketer, and you cannot just determine the price by using some simple permutation combination, or using some thumb rule technique, right? You cannot say, I'm manufacturing 1,000 units of water bottle per day and I will sell 500 units from tomorrow onwards, and I'll earn maybe 100 or 200 bucks per unit. And this is a very vague calculation which one is doing. You need to consider all these factors, and then you can decide what should be the price which will be the right price for water bottles which you are selling in the market. So I think that's all about the pricing. Now there is a very small exercise which I have kept for some fun purpose. So here there are some popular logos which you are seeing over here, and you have to identify the brands which you could identify. You have to pay attention from the top left corner. Starting from top left corner, you can then move towards right, you can go down, you can then again move towards right. In this way you can pay attention and tell me what are these brands which you can actually identify here. And pardon me, some of them are Indian brands, but others are the international brands as well. So maybe others you would be able to identify very easily. Okay, I guess all of you are there with me.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay. Okay, right. So let us do one thing. Anyway, I'm going to share the slides with you. So you can spend some time on this and try to understand which are these brands. And as I was mentioning some features about the brands, and I'm very much sure with each and every of this brand, you will find certain features and which makes them different from all other competitor brands, right? So let me quickly like tell you, like this is a Zuzu which is popular for Vodafone. This guy who is watching a television here is known for Onida, which was a very known television brand. This guy who is doing a painting here is a very known paint brand which is known as Asian Paints, right? This guy who is welcoming here is a airline brand which is anybody can tell me?
Air
It's
India.
Air India. It's Air India, right? This girl who is dancing here, this girl who is cutting a cake here. So each of this signify a certain brands. These guys who are holding this happy birthday party, they are the Dunzo guys, right? So maybe you can spend some time on this later on and try to identify what it communicates, because each and every brand communicates certain message, right? The last thing is these are the key takeaways of this session, and maybe this is for your remembering purpose. Maybe later on whenever you pay attention to these slides, quickly you can revise what are those things which we have discussed throughout this block, right? So I think that's all from my side for today. I've completed my discussion. Now it's over to you. Any questions or any queries which you guys have, so we can address it, and I'm ready to respond.
Hello, sir. I wanted to ask, I have a question.
Yeah, please, Nelson. Please go ahead.
Does price cap set by government affect the pricing of a product?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that because the private companies mostly set up their prices on products based on
Okay. Right. Okay.
their evaluation. So I thought.
Okay, if I have understood your question right, I'm first repeating the question. So, how government play its role in determining prices? Because mostly the companies determine the prices of their product, right? So let me try to tell you what is the kind of interrelationship which is over there, right? So, government of any country have a certain control over the companies in terms of the laws, the corporate laws they have, the other business regulations which they have, and in certain industry these laws are more strongly followed. In other industries maybe there is some relaxation, right? But in one or other way, government are the major decision makers. They are the decision makers, and taxation also comes under this, right? So how much tax are going to be applied to a certain product or services, and that is also decided by the government, right? So your overall prices are going to get impacted. It is not only about the cost, but also about the taxation which are going to be charged over your products and services, and that is the reason government is a major role player here. Even government determines the cost of certain commodities. You cannot sell certain products or goods above certain price or below certain price. You cannot have a you cannot charge more than enough money for some of the basic products. So suppose milk or some of the groceries which are consumed by most of the people, and these are the goods which are convenience goods, right? But if you are someone who is in the specialty goods business, you offer some luxury cars, you are the company who manufactures some high priced bikes, so definitely there is a much more liberty with you to charge the extra prices, high prices, and decide the prices by keeping that thing in the mind. So again, here the nature of product, here the customers whom you are trying to reach out to, they also play a very prominent role. So government is a major decision maker here, and that is the reason the decision maker has a power to impose something upon the businesses. And licenses, even again, there is another point which I can add on. The licenses which you need to perform any kind of business activity, so that is also determined by the government, and prices get impacted due to that. And overall economy which is over there, in a economic situation which is over there, that is also very much depend upon the kind of a government regulations or the way governance is happening in your country, right? Mahadevan is saying, since everyone wants reasonable price, how to deal with situation where our products are good but expensive to make, at the same time need to sell at competitive prices. Okay, right. So see, if I talk about reasonable price once again, so what is the idea? If something is reasonable means you are trying to equating benefits with the cost in a one or other way. You are trying to provide more benefits to the customers, and there are some less cost, and that is a reasonable price for any customer, right? So definitely, how that can be done. First and foremost important thing is to understand, to develop a deeper understanding about your customer, your market. Second important understanding is required about your own business, the products or services which you are offering. So how you can cut down your cost on production, how you can save on some of the resources, that is the one way. Second is sometimes the supplies which you are using for manufacturing the product, or sometimes the dependability which you have on certain equipments or raw materials. And if that can be leveraged, if that can be changed, it may help you to reduce certain cost. And cost is a direct relationship with your prices. That is one of the ways. You can also pay more attention to the factors which are in your control. Again, I'm going back to the internal factors which are over there. So all those internal factors with which you are dealing, so those factors can be managed more effectively, and that may help you to come up with a reasonable price and definitely on a certain revenue, and that will make you happy as well as your customers happy. I hope tried to make my point clear. Okay, right. I'm a manager of a shop and I'm facing the same situation. Okay, right. It's a very very common case. It happens with most of the people, right? Just hold on. Any more questions? If I have missed out certain something, yeah. Umar, Ali Umar, yeah, please.
Yes, Doctor. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yeah.
Doctor, please can you elaborate on brand and franchising? Brand and franchising.
Brand franchisee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So if I talk about brand franchisee, so it is what? So it is it is an identity, a company which is established at one particular location, doing their business at that particular location. Now they want their business to be expanded at other locations, maybe other geographic locations in the same country or other countries. So they go for a franchising mode. Franchising is basically is an expansion of your business. So you can give your franchisee of your business to other partners who are working at other locations, and the same brand identity, the same products will be offered at your name, and maybe the providers, service providers, and product sellers will be different. They will be using your name, which will be a franchisee, and that will help you to expand your business. And the brand identities plays a very important role, like McDonald's or Pizza Hut or Domino's. These are the Coca-Cola, right? So all of them are major role player because they are the established brands, and people trust them. People are willing to accept them. That's the idea.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Right. I think another question.
Hold on, Doc. Doc,
yeah. Khalid.
I want to ask, can we call reasonable price and economic pricing?
Yeah, possibly. So reasonable price is a term which we use from a perspective of a consumer or a customer, right? Economic price is something which is the term which we use for a marketer, right? As a marketer, we want economic price where we will be able to offer a product to a customer and we will be able to generate certain revenue out of that price. And what is reasonable price? It is something at which customers are getting the continuous benefit, and that is a reasonable price. The same thing, but the lenses are different to see the same. Yeah, Salome.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, I want to know what can be done. Suppose a product has reached a decline stage. So what are the things that needs to be done for it to start getting profits again? And what are the factors that can be included for it to have sustainability in the business?
Okay, right. So I'm just repeating the question. So if a product has reached out to a maturity stage, so what solutions are possible? If I'm not wrong, right, Salome?
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, so there are two or three major things. Yeah, there are two or three major things that can be done in this regard. So suppose if you are already aware your product is at a maturity stage and it is already in a very high demand. So now what can be done next? So first and foremost thing can be done is the maybe you can do some innovation with your existing product, or maybe you can come up with some more categories of product, or the you can increase the usage of your product. So let me tell you how this can be done. So there are many soap manufacturing companies which are over there, soap brands which are over there. So they come up with a new and new varieties of a soap, right? So today they are offering maybe a sandal soap. Tomorrow they will come up with a rose soap. Day after tomorrow they will come with aqua soap, right? So what they are doing, first they are coming up the variety, and they are trying to reach out to the customers with some more choices. Second thing you can do, you can come up with a new set of customers. You can look for a usage where new customers can use it. So you are offering a product which is meant for women's, right? But now you introduced a product that can be also used by men's, right? So what you are trying to do, women's were already buying your product, it is already at a maturity stage. Now another version of product you created, and it will add on some more sales or some more profit to your existing business. Your brand identity is already there, women's already are aware about your products. Now the men's have to be reached out and they will help you to do this. The third important thing that can be done in this regard is you start focusing more on your loyal customers, right? Why loyal customers? Because see, uh, the truth is that you can ignore the maturity for some time, but this is for sure. Maybe for another 2 3 5 years you will continue to survive at a maturity stage, but the reality is definitely there will be a decline which is going to come. You can postpone it, but you cannot completely avoid it, right? So all these things can be done to just increase the life of a product. And also third important things, your loyal customers can actually help you to survive if at all your product demand is now declining. So your loyal customers, you start focusing more upon them, you serve them better, you come up with the deals which make them more satisfaction, which give them more satisfaction. And your loyal customers will also give you some referral business, because they are trusting you, they have a strong trust among upon you, and they will give you some referral business. They will ask their family and friends to buy from this brand because they are very very trustworthy brand in the market. So what will happen at a decline stage? Suppose now the same business you are not getting after 2 or 3 years. Now you start focusing on a niche. Not you are not offering the same product to the same set of customers, but only to the loyal customers, and you are focusing more on serving them, and maybe coming up with a new range of products for all those people who are actually buying before from you. So I hope I have made my point clear.
Yes, sir, it's
Very
clear.
clear.
Thank you.
Confirmation. Good evening, doctor.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, please tell me.
Okay, thank you. So I actually have a concern about the life cycle or the life span for the product.
Okay. Okay.
So I consider it to be a natural phenomenon, but for one to be an effective market manager, there has to be something to be done in order to, at the stage of decline, if those services are done and considered to be viable at that point in time, but some certain situations have made it to decline. What are the strategies? What are the strategies that could be used or adopted by such a manager in order to make, you understand, to reactivate the growth of that particular product to the level of maturity and for the services to be accepted by the consumers or clients? Thank you.
Okay, right. I understood your question. So now you are aware about like your product has already reached out to a decline stage and there are very limited buyers for it. So again, I'm repeating the last point which I have made for in the last discussion. So you can start focusing more on your loyal customers. You can now serve your loyal customers and concentrate on them. And simultaneously, what you can do, see if at all you are sure now your product is no more will be in the demand, the market conditions are changing, the customers taste and preferences are changing. So I think it is the high time you realize the truth that your product requires some form of replacement, some form of possibly makeover, right? The makeover also works. It is not the case you have to completely replace your product. You can do a makeover of your product, makeover in terms of branding, rebranding it, makeover in terms of adding on some new features to it, or maybe if it's if the market is clearly indicating. So again, I'm going back to the example of pager. I'm again going back to the example of camera. If technology can changes or market conditions are clearly indicating your products no more will be required in the future, so it is definitely an idea to diversify your focus. So you can come into another business. In a sense, you can start offering some of the similar products which you can offer, not the same product which has already come to a decline stage. So diversification is one strategy which can be used here, which will help you to come up with a new products in the market and continue doing your journey with the same business. So that are some of the possible solutions that can be over there at the decline stage. But as a marketer, definitely if your product is already at a decline stage, so you can just push it little further by using certain strategies. But the truth is that definitely the product will die over the period of time. So rebranding is one of the best thing that can be done. You completely revamp the way the product actually is being accepted by the customer. So I hope it makes sense.
Yes, doctor, it really makes sense. And in practice, there is something I observed from some production managers or from some certain companies.
Right.
If their product have reached that level of decline, so they at some point they actually withhold those particular products, and you understand, and they bring them back in a more redefined way. One, and secondly, they may likely give incentives or bonuses to their customers. So is that are they giving it to the general? Is it the same strategy you are talking about for the loyal customers, or it is a generalized kind of strategy that these particular companies do implement? Thank you. And how effective and how appropriate these techniques are?
Okay, so if I got your question right, so you're talking about like if a production manager or a company has realized now their products maybe no more will be in the demand, so they push their retailers, right, to increase more sales, to increase more revenue. If I'm not wrong, just correct me. If and they find themselves dependent upon them, right? But that's not a right way, because ultimately the product those who are actually are the creators of the product, and if they are sure it is not working, so it is not at all going to be worked by with just only by the distribution channel. Channel plays a very prominent role if at all your product has a worth. If your product has a we were talking about the usability, we were talking about the utility. If those things are there, definitely it is going to work. Otherwise it won't make sense. And again, coming back to the point of loyal customers, so definitely see what is the condition with the loyal customers. Loyal customers are not in as much in quantity as the other customers are over there, right? Loyal customers are the customers which will come to you over the period of time, and they are the one who are there because of your relations, because of the trust which you have created, and they will be less in the quantity as compared to all other customers which you may had in the past. So definitely the amount of business which you're getting from all other customers will be less, but maybe the loyal customers will be ready to pay some extra price to buy your products because they trust you, they want you to be there with them. That is the idea.
Thank you, sir. Well understood. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Okay, any more question? Let me quickly check the chat box as well. Is price regulation for a product or service always determined by government authorities, following in case of necessity goods? Yeah, mostly the government, or maybe the other decision makers who are under the government, right? So if I'm referring to government, it is not the case. I'm just only referring to those who are running the country. I'm also referring to the administrative system which is over there. So there are different industries for which there are different regulatory bodies which are over there, and they are the one who are the major role players in making decision, to import, to come up with certain policies and regulations as per the industry in which you are operating, and that is going to impact your business, and accordingly your prices are going to get impacted. So let me quote one very basic example of the fuel prices. So fuel prices are in the hands of government, and fuel prices impact each and every business. No any business can be can't get rid of the impact of a fuel prices. So definitely the fuel is something which is required by most of the businesses, not maybe for their manufacturing or their marketing purpose, but maybe for the other purposes, and often the businesses on which they are dependent. So this complete ecosystem is going to get impacted with the government regulations as well as the regulatory bodies decisions which they are going to make. Yeah, you raised your hand, size. If I'm not pronouncing your name incorrectly, Cassius Guys. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Doc. Mine is I wanted to find out because from the discussion I've understood that one way of making sure that you reactivate your product on the market is you said we need to concentrate on the loyal customers that are available. Now my question is giving incentives or discounts one of the ways or a technique that a manager can use to make sure that these loyal customers remain buys the product the way they have been doing it? Thank you.
Okay, right. Okay, so if I come to the question of loyal customers once again, so remember one thing: loyal customers are the customers who are there with you because of the relations which you built over the period of time, not only for the price, not only for the incentives which you give. Definitely incentives, rewards, and all those benefits which you offer are a part of it. But what is the idea? They want you to serve them as you were serving before. They want the same experience or similar experience. Experience is something which it counts, right? So either it's a product or service, whatever experience which they were getting with the price, quality, quantity, the after sale services which you offer. Services plays a very prominent role here. This is going to determine how long they will stay with you as a loyal customers, and how much benefits they will be willing to provide you as a loyal customers, right? So what is the idea? If you want your loyal customers to be with you, so not much financial incentives are going to help them, because they are not with you for a finance. They want you to be remain trustworthy. They want you to serve them as you were serving them before, and they have some set expectations. They have reached out to highest level of expectations from you. Now you to continue fulfilling those expectations, right? Are you getting my point? If you will divert from those expectations, if you will shift your focus from not fulfilling those expectations and creating something new for them or setting a new expectations for them, this is not going to work for them. They want you to be with them in all those times when they were there with you. So what is the idea? Your continuous relationship is going to help them more. Definitely in the form of rewards, it can help. Definitely the consistent communication will help. Definitely getting a consistent feedback from them can help. You reach out to them every time when you do a business with them, and you ask for their honest feedback, and that is something which they will value, and they will continue to be there with your business for a longer period of time. And sustainability, if we replace the word, so longevity means sustainability.
All right, thanks, Doc. I
Right.
understand.
Okay, so I think we run out of time. So I think it has been a nice interaction with you guys today. Yeah. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, I say.
On pricing decisions, of course, the question is not really detaching with what we have learned today, but actually I've heard so far these terms on price flow and price elasticity. So is it possible if we just can clarify the
Okay.
meaning of price flow and price elasticity, and how relevant are they when it comes to making price decisions on
Okay.
marketing?
So okay, one thing you talked about price elasticity, and what was the other thing? I couldn't get it. Price elasticity and price
Price flow,
price flow and price
FO,
elasticity. Okay.
yeah, FLOW,
Okay. Right. Right.
FLOW.
Right. Okay. So,
Yeah.
see, price flow. Let me be honest. I'm not much. I'm not getting this in which context you are asking about price flow, but price elasticity. If I talk about, so price elasticity is something which is a direct relationship with the demand and supply, right? And how it works. So it depends what kind of products which you are offering. So price elasticity means if you increase a certain unit of a price, the demand may increase or decrease, and it's a vice versa, right? So we call it a positive or negative price elasticity, right? So price elasticity plays an important role in terms of determining prices. In a sense, we as a marketer, we see it from a different lens, right? So this price elasticity concept is very much applicable to the domain of marketing as well, but from a marketer's lens, we see it as a market penetration and market scheming. These are the two strategies which are being used. So market penetration means if you see there is enough demand, which is if you see your product is new in the market, you want your product to be introduced, you want your product to be accepted by the market, so you enter in the market with a low price, you offer a low price at the beginning, and you penetrate the market, and over the period of time you increase the prices, right? So it will be well accepted by your customers. And there is another contrary strategy which is known as price scheming. So what you do here, you understand like there are enough customers in the market and they are ready to accept you, they have already tried and tested your product. So what you are doing, you are keeping the prices high. Now you are offering them the high prices, and over the period of time you are decreasing the prices when your costs are getting down, when you are no more spending your money on your advertisement and other promotion and distribution channels. So this is a price scheming which you are doing because the product has been well accepted in the market. Now you want more and more customers to accept it at the price which you are offering it, right? So that is a price scheming which is over there. So what is its relation with the pricing? These are two most important strategies which are over there in the domain of marketing. If you want to set a reasonable price which has been asked by a customer or accepted by a customer, these are the two major strategies that can be used. There are many more, but there is a paucity of time. I can't stress much upon the other forms of strategies, but this can be actually used. Price flow, I'm really not getting what in what context you are talking about price flow.
All right, doctor. Thank you.
Right.
Well clarified.
Right. Okay. Okay, so thank you all of you, and it has been nice interacting with you today as well. So tomorrow again we'll start at 7 p.m. IST, and please join on time. And if it would be really nice if you join before 3 to 5 minutes, so we'll start on time and we'll complete it on time, right? I'll share today's slides with ma'am, and also we couldn't do the exercise today, the quiz which we have done yesterday. So maybe tomorrow in the beginning itself we'll go ahead with the quiz for today's session, and then we'll start our session, right? Okay guys, see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
bye. Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Professor.
Thank you. Bye.